Alright, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to episode 20 of the Road to Dunking series. We are chugging away. I'm still recovering from my MCL injury. It's taking quite a bit of time, I'm not going to lie. I find myself constantly chatting with ChatGPT, asking all sorts of questions about, where the pain is, how long it'll take to heal, what's the best recovery methods, all that sort of stuff. And, I've come to the conclusion that it could be 6 to 12 weeks of not feeling amazing, not being able to run or jump or do any power movements. And it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, honestly. It's rough because when you can't do something, it's like all you want to do is just be able to return back to doing what you were. It's like all of a sudden, I don't care if I'm only jumping 35 inches. I want to get back out there and jump 35 inches, It's not even about chasing a 40 plus inch vert anymore. It's just about getting healthy, getting back to your sport. So that whole little rant is just basically my way of telling you to be careful. Don't overtrain. If you feel like you're doing a jump session and you're starting to, even your knee is just starting to flare up even the slightest, it's probably good to just cut it off there. Same goes with especially this is what I deal with a lot, is trying to, and I kind of just realized this honestly, is forcing ranges of motion, and particularly with the back squat, when I'm either barefoot or just wearing my lifting shoes, but not standing on a wedge or anything. Sometimes, especially really only after like jump sessions or plyometrics or anything explosive, sometimes parallel squats or competition approved squats, back squats, are a little bit hard on the knee for me. So just not forcing those range of motions when they're not there. Who cares, if you're hitting depth or not? Because at the end of the day, you just want to stay healthy, keep improving. So that's what we're trying to do. In the meantime, while I'm recovering from this horrendous, just idiot, injury that I got myself into just from a random left-right approach jump, bad landing, and then what I think really aggravated it worse. I feel like it was healing at a much faster rate, and then I did some seated hamstring curls, and I heard like a small pop when I was doing it, and ever since then it's just been taking way longer to heal. So I think I really messed it up there. So that's another thing. Injure yourself, can't just jump right back into the same exercises that you're doing when you're healthy. Sometimes you gotta scale those back. I probably should have done some Nordic isometric holds and called it at that until I felt good enough to do hamstring curls. But whatever. In the meantime, trying not to get too down, and how I'm doing that is by setting goals. Sometimes goal setting it's a good exercise to, sit back, reflect on what you want, because it changes. It's crazy, I have 4 whiteboards that you can actually see in this frame, and I write my goals on them periodically. And, last year at this time, my goals were completely different. A year and a half ago at this time, my goals were completely different. They change so frequently. And, a year ago, my goal was to hit a baseball off the tee at 105 miles an hour. And, 6 months ago, my goal was to hit a golf ball super far. And, that actually is still one of my goals. I got a long drive competition coming up in 3 weeks, and I haven't been able to golf in a while because of my knee injury and just other focuses. So that'll be interesting, but super excited for that. But goal setting. And what I've come to at this point, and what honestly is getting me through these workouts, it's like just staring at the light at the end of the tunnel, because I know there is. I know that if I keep doing my strength training, keep avoiding the jumping, and when it's time, slowly work back into the jumping with depth drops for a while, low intensity jumps, and then you work up to 90%, you do that for a while, and then bam, you're doing 100% again. But these goals that I'm setting are really helping me get through these, not, dark times or anything, but just these more difficult times of rehabbing. So what I've come down to, obviously, one of my big goals for this year is to get a 40-inch vert. And to do that, I would have to touch 11'1". So I think I've done it, honestly. I think in November of 2023, I was at my peak, potentially peak vertical ever, because I could hit my head on the backboard, and I have never been able to do that. I didn't test. I wish I had a vert trainer at the time, but I didn't have one. But I was dunking off lob like pretty dang convincingly, like really like throwing them down and hitting my head on the backboard. But then my goals shifted and then I stopped doing that. So, but this year I'm gonna try my best to keep the vertical jump training goals. So, number 1, 40-inch max approach vert. Second one, I'm going to go with like the speed ones first, the plyometric or explosive ones first, but the second one of most importance to me is getting my 40-yard dash down. I've tested a 4 or 5 after like a workout, and my knees were feeling it, so I want to get into the 4.3s. I think that would be super sick. And then my third one, second with running, would be to get a sub 11 second 100 meter. I think that would just be a super cool achievement to, run the 100 in 10 point whatever seconds, even if it's 10.99, doesn't matter. If you're in the 10-second range, that's pretty elite. So those are the 3 really ballistic, explosive movements that I want. Kind of a secondary goal for the vertical is I want to get a 35-inch standing vertical, and I think that would be, let me do the math here, my reach is 7'9", so 36 would be 10'9", so I'd have to touch 10.8 off vert, which is really pretty darn high for me, and that would probably put me at basically dunking off vert. So that's another one. Then my lifting goals, front squat, I want to hit 365 by the end of the year, preferably before I'm 26, which is just crazy. That's another thing, a sense of urgency, dude. I'm getting old, man. Ideally I want to peak when I'm like mid-30s, but I don't know how realistic that is. Trying my best to, but you never know. I don't know. Who knows when we peak? How can you even ever really know that? But 365 front squat, that's what I want. For just a normal back squat, I would say like 450 high bar would be good for me for the end of the year. Just do volume, get your volume in. And that should be pretty easy to get. But we'll see if I stick to volume, especially when I can start doing jumping and stuff again. It's going to be interesting to see that programmed. I kind of want to do a morning plyometric and then later in the afternoon do weights, but we'll see when we get there. So back squat, front squat, I don't really have a power clean goal. I don't know how much I'm going to do those when I get back into being able to do them. I've always kind of like trap bar jumps more, but yeah, finish off the end of the week with seated calf raise. I'm sorry that these workouts are so similar, but that's kind of all I can do right now. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, my thoughts for the week, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.